Napoleon Bonaparte, you've heard of him. Short man, big hat, always conquering things. He was quite famous. He changed Europe, even if he wasn't actually that short for his time. He won battles, Austerlitz, Jena, Wagram, you name it. Big victories. He seemed unstoppable, like a force of nature. But nature can be surprising, even for powerful emperors. Even emperors need a break, a little fun, a little relaxation, away from war rooms and complicated maps. He decided on a hunt, a rabbit hunt, to be precise. Seemed like a good idea. A perfectly harmless afternoon activity. What could go wrong? Really, rabbits are small, generally. The year was 1807, a time of great upheaval and change across Europe. A good year for Napoleon, mostly. He was riding high on a wave of victories. He had just signed the treaties of Tilsit, solidifying his power and influence. Feeling pretty pleased with himself, he decided he deserved some amusement, a distraction from the rigors of leadership. A nice, calm rabbit hunt was planned, a perfect way to unwind. His chief of staff, Louis-Alexandre Berthier, took charge of organizing the event. Berthier, eager to impress the emperor, gathered rabbits from all over. Lots and lots of rabbits. Hundreds, maybe even thousands, caged and ready for the emperor's sport. The sheer number was staggering. It was meant to be a grand spectacle, a show of imperial leisure and control, a display of easy imperial dominance. Over small furry mammals, the scene was set, a large field. Napoleon and his entourage ready for a day of sport, ready with their hunting gear. Anticipating fun. The signal was given, the cages were opened, then confusion. The rabbits didn't scatter, they charged. A hair-raising ambush was unleashed. Now, why would rabbits attack? It's a good question. Wild rabbits run, that's what they do. Flee from big, noisy humans, especially ones with sticks and important hats. These rabbits missed that memo. Berthier made a mistake. He didn't get wild rabbits, he got tame ones. Domesticated bunnies from local farmers, hundreds of them. They were used to people. This was a crucial detail. These rabbits had a different worldview. Humans meant food, delicious food. Humans meant carrots and lettuce. They saw Napoleon. They thought dinner time, so they hopped with great purpose towards the emperor. Imagine the scene, if you can. The great Napoleon, conqueror of nations, emperor of the French, surrounded completely and utterly by bunnies, hundreds of them. It was a sight to behold, a moment of sheer absurdity in the annals of history. Not soldiers, not cannons, not cavalry, just soft wiggling noses and twitching ears. They swarmed his boots. They nibbled his trousers. The mighty emperor reduced to a figure of amusement by these tiny creatures. They tried to climb his legs. Their persistence was relentless, their numbers overwhelming. He waved his riding crop. Shoo! Go away! But his commands fell on deaf ears. The bunnies undeterred by his authority. The bunnies were not impressed. They were on a mission for munchies. Their determination was unshakable. They were on a mission for munchies. His authority meant nothing to them. His authority meant nothing to them. They just saw a man who might have food. They just saw a man who might have food. Laughter erupted. A man who might have food. Laughter erupted. From his men, then concern, Napoleon was genuinely beleaguered. He had to retreat. The emperor retreated. From his men, then concern. Napoleon was genuinely beleaguered. He had to retreat. The emperor retreated. The great conqueror driven back by an army of bunnies. It was a day that would go down in history, not for a grand battle, but for a comical defeat. Napoleon was an interesting fellow, full of quirks. He was a man of many contradictions and peculiar habits that made him a fascinating figure in history. He was supposedly afraid of cats. This fear, known as ailurophobia, is quite unusual for someone who commanded armies and ruled empires. Maybe the rabbits sensed a weakness for small furry creatures, or maybe not. It's hard to say what goes on in the mind of a rabbit. Perhaps they just thought he looked kind. Or maybe they were simply curious about this small man in a big hat. Or had particularly tasty-looking boots. Leather can be quite appealing to a hungry bunny. We may never know their true motives. Rabbits are enigmatic creatures after all. He was also quite short, or average really. The myth of his short stature has been greatly exaggerated over time. About 5'6", which was quite normal for his era, not tiny for the time. In fact, he was taller than the average Frenchman of his day, but not towering over everyone. He was just another face in the crowd, height-wise. Perhaps to a rabbit, eye level is eye level. They don't care about human height. He seemed less intimidating from down there, more approachable, especially if you're hungry and looking for a snack and used to humans being your friends. Rabbits often see humans as sources of food and comfort. Size isn't everything, especially to a bunny. To them, kindness and food matter more. He loved eau de cologne, used lots of it. It was one of his many indulgences. Perhaps the bunnies liked the smell. It might have been a pleasant change from their usual scents. Or perhaps they were just very, very hungry rabbits, always on the lookout for their next meal, and Berthier had really, truly messed up. So, the great general was once outmaneuvered and forced to flee by a fluffy army. Sometimes the bunnies win. Even the greatest leaders can be humbled by the smallest creatures.